I heard also in this new series you met the Cleverest kids, a
I
whole
did.
batch of Cleverest kids.
Yeah, that was amazing. Actually, I went all over the place: Singapore, America, Malaysia, and I did meet extraordinary cleverness across the board. And that was a good debate, really, as to whether children who are super, super clever, does it come from the parents who have just been pushing them since they could breathe, or were they born that way? So we had the big nature nurture debate, really, in that show, and it was an interesting one. I'm inconclusive, really, because I think some of the kids were heavily encouraged and pushed by their parents. A little girl called Adora, who's I think she's 9 now, and she's a published author. She's got books out, and she does online video conferencing. She goes
in the UK.
No, Seattle.
Right. Okay.
And she goes out to different schools, and she goes on the web and does like special like beamed satellite tutorials to other classrooms and stuff. So she's an extraordinary person and has an amazing life. But I suppose if you started young enough, you could pull that off, whoever you were, as long as you had half a brain. Her mum has been pumping her full of books and everything since she was very small. But, it was an interesting story. Whereas I went to Singapore and I met a little boy called Einan, who's very, very young. I think he's about 8, and he's already done his chemistry GCSE, and he's at university. He's enrolled in higher education doing a chemistry degree with a bunch of grown-ups.
See, clever kids, the whole nature nurture debate and the rest of it. I bet you were a bit of a clever kid, weren't you?
No, I was uniquely idle at school, actually.
Really?
Yeah. My main contribution was to go into the art class and get all the yoo-hoo squeezed out of the tubes, break all the pencils, and that was me. I was done. So I was a very deconstructive artist. And I couldn't get too interested in stuff like maths and science. It's obviously a shame, because I do think there's a cure in me for something. But I never applied myself.
But it's application in that academic context, isn't it? Kids like you, bright, intelligent, and the rest of it, but not when it comes to the books and school.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's the formal aspect of it that puts a lot of kids off, isn't it? The fact the minute you have to start reading books, then that's the first thing you don't want to do. So a lot of these kids that I met were homeschooled, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're so super brainy and so motivated and everything is because it's all on their terms, and they've just got, mum around the corner, and it's quite a comfortable setup. But then, with the homeschool thing, it's still a bit weird, isn't it? Let's be honest. Kids that are homeschooled. There's something faintly wrong about it, isn't it? That's what I think anyway. Unless there's a specific reason, such as their, unique needs not being met by a regular school. But,
And how about your
because you've got to get sort of handcuffed to a locker from time to time, haven't you? It's all part of life's rich tapestry.
Is that what happened to you?
Well, maybe.
And how about your little nipper?
Well, he's 3.5 now, and I was quite
Feeding
inspired.
him books?
Well, I must say, I do think that children love books generally, and it's only kind of an accident, and you take your eye off the ball and lose the habit of reading. That causes the problems. So I think keep it going. Paddington's a big key figure at the moment. He's getting it done in our house, and so no, it's helpful. I'm lucky doing this series. Has been a lot more about families, and I do have a family for the time being. And what's exciting about it is that I can kind of look at how other people live, especially at the extreme end, and see whether it's a good idea or not. So I think in some ways this whole series is a fact-finding mission for me as a father and as a husband.
How's it going down with your wife?
I've got 83 more kids to have, and the wife, she just, she's not having it. She won't, really tough nut to crack is all I'll say.